Hello, my name is John Barr, and we've achieved a approximately 1-inch thick, 12-inch tall, 20 cylinder that started with a 25-pound ball of clay. I'm going to show you now how to achieve a wide-mouthed, big-bodied planter shape. That shape is going to be approximately something like this over here. Maybe like that. It all depends on what the clay will allow me to do. Sometimes the clay will speak to the shape that it wants to be, but it's always nice to be able to control it into whatever shape you want it to be, and occasionally that happens. So the first step of this, we can press this rim, and we have a nice thick collar here. Now, there's a certain advantage to having this already expanded to approximately the diameter the mouth is going to be, so that when you expand the side walls, you have someplace to go, and also someplace to stop visually, and also once you have expanded these walls and they become thin, then you have problems with torque, and if you start trying to shape your rim after you've expanded your walls, because as they expand they become even thinner, problems arise. So at this point in the process, with the walls centered and pulled, you want to control whether the wall's going up more, going in, or out. The attitude inside this wall depends on, this makes the wall go out as you pull up, having your inside hand below the right hand. This, pulling centered where each finger is pressing against each other equally, makes you thin the wall and pull clay up. This way, having your hands like this makes the wall go in. So a slight decreasing in the diameter would be having your fingers like this, and sometimes fingers are even this fall apart, where you're just keeping this centered up here and driving in. So now you want to only lube the pot as little as possible. So I'm going to do a quick thinning just to find out where I am here. Make sure, just feel out the clay. This is a little experimental run. See how things are feeling. Maybe find an air bubble or two. And now you're continually compressing the rim. And somehow, eventually, your fingers are going to develop their own style of rim that just comes automatic to you. So now I want, since this is the top's equal to the bottom now, my theory is that the top should be 2/3 bigger than the base, or something in there, golden meanish stuff. So I am going to start here and start expanding this out. Now, you may have been astute enough to notice that I lied. I had one hand lower a little bit, but still, normally that is when you want to expand. Now I'm riding the right hand high and making sure this rim stays in as I go out. Nothing's hard and fast here. Go to the bottom. My common mistake is to get this top too thin. I'm going to leave plenty up there for later. Okay, now I'm going to go back down to the bottom, and I'm going to feel some of this. I'm going to feel some of this clay down at the bottom, and do a little thinning yank on equal pressure. Can't emphasize about as much as you can take the pain, pulling slowly. Now when you grab this bottom, this is where it's going to knock stuff out at the top. But don't be afraid. You need to get that stuff out. And eventually you're going to be able to straighten that up. Especially the expansion tends to drive things back to true. Now I'm riding right here, and I'm going to drive this top back to true. Now here, when things get out of whack, you can try to keep compressing that rim. I need a needle tool. I don't have one right now. Let's use what's on hand. Make a needle tool just by driving a needle or a nail. I'm just going to trim off a little bit here. And this stuff's kind of turned slimy and mucky. So it's kind of good to get rid of that anyway. So I'm going to set this rim a little more. And in a normal session with this, I got 3 little piggies here. And I would pull this cylinder and then go to the next. I'd have 3 of these cylinders clicking. By the time I got down to the far end, this one would set up and relax. There's something about, during the violence of the beginning of the throw, once it's set for maybe 2 hours or 3 hours, it stops throwing its fits. So, to push through because of time, I'm going to quickly come up with the nuclear cooling tower top. Call this acceptable. I tend to like to play around here a lot longer and come up with something good. So now I'm going to expand from here to here. And I also probably would like this open wider. I think we're just going to expand. So we're going to end up with a shoulder. It's going to expand out. We're going to end up with a shoulder, and we'll probably knock this around a little bit more. Ever since I've introduced this thing into the throwing process, I've saved my back. Okay, now here, I'm really going to be doing the thing where one hand's below the other. I'm going to start at the bottom. I'm going to ride high, because this is going to knock things out. And the top in my right hand is keeping the top from taking off. I'm driving pretty hard with the right, but really hard with the left. So in my old age, I finally decided I'm going to start cutting out silhouettes that tell me where to go, because right here you're having so much fun making this clay stretch that you tend to, it's really hard to do the aesthetics, worry about aesthetics at the same time you're doing the technical. So unless you've practiced the shape and done it over and over, if you're in a period of discovery, as they say, you tend to go too far, because the clay can, even though maybe it doesn't visually it wouldn't be pleasing. So I could go a long way. I mean, I really want to,
Time,
but I
Johnny.
think I'm moving.
Time, John.